Hello, everyone. Ooh, I'm working on the I'm working on getting a tripod. I know I keep talking about it almost every live. I need a tripod. I need a tripod. I'm gonna get the tripod. I already have it in my shopping cart. It's will be bought tonight. I'm gonna do it. I've had like at least two tripods already, and this is like I just tripods could be so flimsy sometimes. But yeah, I will get a tripod so it'll be easier to go live. How is everyone doing? I am doing fine. I came home and I had to cook something. I was so hungry, so feeling satisfied. Today is Thursday, September 26, 2024. It is 7:15 p.m. Eastern Central Time. I'm in the Midwest. It is fall. Officially over here, it's fall. Like fall was like, look, by summer, it was so quick. Fall was so quick, and I knew I was gonna feel like, oh, I miss summer a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy for fall. But in about one more month, it'll start being like really, really cold. And that's what I don't like. I prefer not to work in the cold. I prefer not to go outside in the cold. I don't like snow. But because I've been living around a lot around snow so much, you would think I would get used to it, but I'm still not used to it. I just don't like snow. I appreciate the beauty of snow, and it does look pretty sometimes. So you guys know my channel is Why Are Humans Like This? And I created that channel to ask questions about humans, about us as human nature, especially coming from a place of trauma. You know, I always want to understand why someone did something, why this happened, why is this way? Not to excuse any behaviors, but to just have a better understanding, a better explanation. So I'm a survivor of childhood abuse. And so my channel is about just sharing abuse. Sometimes I share my stories, and I'm always giving my opinion. So yeah, so back when I was in college, so basically, as a person who is a survivor of childhood trauma in college, I wasn't healed yet. I didn't even know what healing was. I think I spoke to my college counselor maybe one time, and I don't know why I didn't go back. It's like I never going to therapy, going to counseling was never normalized in my childhood. So even though I knew things was off and I needed help, it was still hard to really sit down and continue on. Like going to counseling, going to therapy is a long-term commitment. You can't go one session, two session, a couple sessions and think you're cured. You know what I'm saying? When you are a survivor of trauma, especially childhood trauma, you basically, to me, like need a long time counselor. Even if you don't go every week or you don't go every month, go every so often. So like until you feel like you have addressed your main concerns, you need to keep going to therapy. Hello, Sully Ramirez. How are you? So yeah. Anyway, so in college, I was not healed. I was just like trying to get through school, new to everything, first time being away from home, being around people that I didn't know, and I was already a loner. I usually keep to myself. So it was like, I don't know what I was doing. So yeah, so anyway, I end up finding a roommate online. If I could go back in time, I would not have done that. I didn't even know the person. So she was living in a whole nother state and I was living in a whole nother state. And we found each other on like either the college chat rooms or something. We found each other based on our school. We had that in common. So I was living closer to where the school was. And she was like, hey, why don't you find the apartment for us? And then I'll give you the money, da, 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 da. I've never done anything like that, arranging stuff, roommates. It was just new for me. I've only lived with my family. So I didn't know how to live with people other than my own family, right? So we end up living together. It was cool in the beginning. We ended up having to move because someone had vandalized my car and I felt unsafe. And I think my roommate, she supported me, but I feel like she kind of was like, you sure? And even the property manager was like, you sure? How can I, like, do you think I'm going to fake my car getting vandalized and getting stolen? It wasn't a good neighborhood that I chose for us to be in. It was close to the school, which is a good school, and closer to like suburbs. But I guess it was on the outskirts of the city, so it was still It wasn't a safe area. If I could go back in time, I would have changed it. But you live and you learn, right? So I chose it. Everything was fine. You know, rent was affordable until that happened to my car. So I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe. Let's find somewhere else. So we found somewhere else. And so basically, it wasn't an apartment anymore. We looked for like people having rooms for rent. And so we rented a house. We rented a room in this woman's house. So my roommate got a room, I got a room, and the person who was renting the room to us, she had a house, and she had children. So it was like a single mom trying to make extra money renting rooms, right? So me and my new roommate, we moved in with her. It was okay. And then, you know, I never lived with my roommate before. I never knew her before. I literally just met her online. So we didn't know each other's attitudes, temperaments, dramas, ticks, you know, personality. Like, we didn't know each other. Complete strangers becoming roommates. So it was like bad mistake number one. Why would you be a roommate with somebody you didn't know? And it's crazy when you look back and in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, yo, I really was like lost. And I'm not saying people can't find roommates online like that, but back in that day, when I was like so young and didn't even know what healing was, didn't know anything. I didn't know myself. So how was I gonna live with other people? So yeah, we moved in. It was cool in the beginning, and then the roommate must have had a certain kind of relationship with her old roommates, you know. So I forgot what happened. We had a disagreement about something. I really cannot remember. And she had let me borrow something, like a piece of furniture, and it was in my room. So I didn't like how she talked to me. She was talking down on me. I mean, she was yelling, not like a normal disagreement, like, hey, girl, why did you do that? I don't understand. I don't even know the issue was. But we disagreed on something. And instead of talking like a normal human being, she's like yelling and carrying on, being loud. And I don't respond like that. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I don't even know you like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, girl, please save the drama for your mama, okay? I'm here to go to school. I'm not here for the back and forth. So I don't respond to people like that. Some people know how to scream and yell at each other, and it's like they talk. You know, they talk the next day like, hey, girl. It's like it's cool. I didn't like that kind of treatment when I was a child, so I wasn't gonna accept it as an adult. I didn't like being screamed at, being yelled at, and then think I'm supposed to be cool with you the next day. You know what I'm saying? I've been there, done that. I had it with my family. I'm not going to let a complete stranger disrespect me. Okay? So, yeah. So she was raising her voice. Well, if I can remember the disagreement, I will come back and talk about it. But like I said, we just didn't agree. But she was yelling, like carrying on, like the disagreement didn't require what she was yelling about. She basically was blowing something out of proportion. No one was on fire. Nobody stole nobody money. Nobody slept with nobody man. It wasn't nothing big. I'm telling you, it was such a really small situation. So the roommate blew it up. And then, so she had lent me a piece of furniture to hold my clothes in, I think, or something I was holding in, supplies or clothes. And I basically was done with her after she talked to me like that. So I took her piece of furniture and I slid it out into the hall. So when she opened her room door, she noticed that it was out there and she took it back. So instead of like realizing, hey, you know, I was wrong for how I talked to you. This is wrong. Instead of her apologizing and having any accountability, she went to the owner of the home and basically told her that I'm difficult to live with and she thinks I shouldn't live here anyway. So they both conspired to have me leave the home. I'm a black woman. There were two white women. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. I thought they were cool enough to move in with and live with, but I felt like they ganged up on me. So basically, it made me feel away, you know. So whether it was truly racist or not, I didn't like that feeling. It was mean girl racist spirit that I was getting. So anyway, so I come home one day from school and then I see a note on my door like something, you need to move out, from the owner of the house, right? So I'm like, it took me by shock because I'm like, instead of this girl letting it, maybe we eventually will talk, I guess, and be on good terms, or we realize we shouldn't live together naturally, or she communicate to me like, hey, you know, I probably shouldn't have talked to you like that, upset. Instead of apologizing and being accountable, I'm sorry, Sully Ramirez. I already said you said hi, right? Sully Ramirez is in the chat. Thank you so much. Sully says hi. So instead of her coming to me like I feel like a mature person should, she conspired with the owner to paint me like this bad person, like, oh, she's hard to live with, she's difficult to live with. I was fine. No, there was no problems with me before this incident. So because I stood up for myself, even silently, they wanted me out of there. So they basically, the owner was like, you need to move out. I forgot how much days she gave me, but it was quick. And my boyfriend at the time was very helpful. He was visiting for the weekend, and he helped me move my stuff. And I had to find a place quick, and I was trying to find like another room place to stay, and they put me in a bad situation, you know what I'm saying? But I learned such a hard lesson from that, you know what I'm saying? I learned a hard lesson. First of all, you have to get to know people. You really do. Before you want to be in any small quarters with them, before you live with somebody, you need to know that you can trust them. They're a reliable person. You've known them for a long time. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to move in with a complete stranger. So that was, you know what I'm saying? That was a mistake number one. Mistake number one is I moved in with complete strangers that I didn't know. I was taking a risk. I was young. I was in school. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to do my thing. And I didn't know anybody at the school. So it would have been different if it like, you know, so if I could go back in time, I would have went to a school where I knew people. You know what I'm saying? I would have. But I was trying something new. You know, I was trying to get out of the environment that I lived in. I just wanted to see something different. By the way, yeah, this is off-campus living. I had to live on campus for the first year in freshman year. And then, so this is the second year now that I had the problem with the roommate. I was in my second year. And we were living off campus. We were trying to live off campus, not on campus. You know, on campus is more expensive. But anyway, yeah, so I moved on, and I had to move on with my life. And I would see her sometimes in the hall, and I was so dumb that I would still try to be friends with her, almost like, hey, like basically let bygones be bygones. I think she had called me after the fact. And I think she was asking me about like, oh, somebody broke into the house or something, and do you know who did it? I was like, are you serious, girl? I have not been there. What are you talking about? I shouldn't have even answered the phone to her. But y'all, I'm just thinking about how that was a really emotional time for me to deal with people who were so nasty. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when you know who you are, you don't care what people think. You know what I'm saying? But I was just, you know, I had low self-esteem at the time. I was insecure. You know, I knew when I was being treated bad, but I didn't have the confidence enough to stand on not being gullible. You know what I'm saying? I was a very gullible person. So I just had to learn. That was one of my biggest lessons. You know, dealing with like different people. Oh my God, it's mosquito on me. So it didn't help the fact that I already didn't trust people. You know what I'm saying? That mess. Being a survivor of childhood abuse, you have issues of trust. You know what I'm saying? The people who were supposed to care for you, the people who were supposed to make sure you were safe, they basically ruined your trust with them. So you don't trust anyone. If the people you grew up with, your family, your blood, was supposed to watch you, supposed to take care of you, supposed to like really make sure you're safe, and you know what I'm saying? Make you feel like a human. If they failed you, why would you expect any, you know what I'm saying, any more from anybody else? So I just had a trust issues from that. So when that incident happened, it really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I was like, I was hurt because I was trying to prove somebody wrong. Like, oh, I'm not a bad person, or I'm cool. So like I said before, even after I moved out, I was forced to move out. I would see my roommate sometimes, and I was like, almost like I was open to being cool with her still. Like, how can you be cool with somebody who was, you know what I'm saying, very verbally nasty to you, and she got you to move out? You know, those are things that you don't take lightly with people. That situation could have really ended badly. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess sometimes people know when to try you. People know when to try you. People know who the weak ones are. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, back in the past, I was very vulnerable to, you know, abuse because of my trauma. You run over red flags, you know what I'm saying? So I should have spotted like early red flags with, you know, for the situation with the roommate and just people in general. I think there's a meme that goes around like when you've been through trauma, red flags look like it's a party. You know what I'm saying? So when you've had a lot of trauma in your life, you're attracted to chaos, you're attracted to that similar thing that you grew up with. So it's like instead of like going away from it, you go towards it. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to learn some lessons. You have to undo a lot of like negative things that you were raised to believe. And you got to be confident. You got to believe in yourself. Like you can't rely on, what's the word, acceptance from people. I spent so many years trying to be accepted. So when that incident happened with my roommate, I felt rejected. I felt like I did something wrong, like unwanted, like that. And it's crazy how like I didn't know these people, but it made me feel that way, because it's like, dang, again, I'm being turned away. Again, I'm not being embraced. Again, I'm being disrespected. You know what I'm saying? It was like, why me again? When does it stop? You know? But I eventually got over the roommate situation, but I always felt like that was like so shady. But like I said, it taught me such a good lesson. It was a hard lesson, but it was a real world. You in the real world now. Everybody's not gonna treat you with kitten gloves. People don't care that you were abused or you have trauma. People are gonna treat you how you allow them to treat you. You know what I'm saying? People will treat you how you allow them. So if you let people talk to you crazy, screaming at you, calling you names, assaulting you in any kind of way, and you are not stopping it, whether you're physically stopping it or you're getting authorities to help you, letting people abuse you over and over again, and you're not trying to do anything to prevent it or stop it, they're going to keep going. And then the abuser will be like, well, I thought you liked it. I thought you liked it. You kept dealing with it. It's like abusers will punish you for staying and being loyal. The more loyal you are, you know what I'm saying? This probably came off topic, but like I said before, that roommate situation it was a triggering experience because it brought me back to childhood and family, just dysfunction and mean girl spirit, yelling, screaming, sabotaging, kicking me out of the unit. You know what I'm saying? Kicking me out of a community that I thought I was supposed to be a part of. It reminded me of my childhood. I'm so glad that I love myself now, but I did not love myself for a long time. If you guys are in the live, like the chat. I would appreciate it. But yeah, and it's funny because, like I said, that was my first roommate situation. But my first year on campus, I was supposed to have a roommate. And as soon as I moved in, she moved out. And I was like, I didn't get that. I asked another person. I was like, why did she move out? Oh, that's so-and-so. She liked having her own room. She didn't want to share with nobody, so she moved out. And I took that so personal, y'all. So that, like I said, this was before the other roommate situation. This was on campus first year. Second year is with the living in the lady house and stuff like that. The first situation was first year college, and I was supposed to have a roommate. And my roommate didn't want to be my roommate. She didn't even try to get to know me, and it hurt my feelings because it's like I was taking it personal, but it wasn't about me. It was her. That was her issue. She didn't even know me. How are you going to expect her to treat you treat you nicely? She don't even know you. I used to take everything personal. So when she didn't want to be my roommate, I was like, dang, there's another rejection feeling unwanted again. It's like, again, you know what I'm saying? I was always seeking validation. I am so glad that I've grown into the person that I don't feel like I need to seek your approval or validation. Like, the only people that I'm trying to get approval from is myself and my children. And I know that I won't make my children happy all the time. There's some things they're not gonna like. But that's the only people whose opinion that I truly care about. My children's opinion is number one. Their opinion is top tier. Top tier. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Robert Myrie. Good night. How are you? But yeah, the less you care about what people think about you, the happier you'll be. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that the hard way, that you have to love yourself despite people not liking you. You have to love yourself despite people misunderstanding you. You have to love yourself even when it's hard. You're lovable. Those people who made you feel like you're hard to love, forget about them. They didn't matter. You didn't matter to them, obviously, so they shouldn't matter to you. Heal. Keep loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? Robert Myrie says, I am good. How are you? I'm well, thank you. It's getting a little bit chilly, so I'm gonna come off live in a few minutes. But I appreciate you joining the live. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Just talking about a roommate situation that I had, just reminding me of my childhood. You know what I'm saying? The trauma that I experienced in my childhood, it was triggered when my ex-roommate was treating me unfairly. It was like a mean girl thing. And I felt like I was wronged in the situation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that I'm okay with it now. But just want to talk about how certain things has affected me my whole life. When you're not healed, when you don't understand who you are, why you do the things you do, you need that's important for you to understand so you can move on with your life. You're going to be stuck all the time if you don't understand yourself and love yourself. Robert Myrie says, okay, cool. I just come from work. Okay, you just came from work. It's 7:36 p.m. over here. What time is it, Robert Myrie, over there? Are you, I can't remember where you're from. Not Montana, is it? Remind me. But I'm on Eastern time, and it's almost dark. So, like, my view from my eyes is a little bit darker than what you are seeing. So, like I was saying before, I'm thankful for this little light area and for the camera to brighten up the space. So, even though you guys are not really seeing much, you're still seeing some trees. You can hear some of the nature. But yeah. I'm sure everyone has or most people have a bad roommate experience. And for those of you who have a good roommate experience, for those of you that have a good roommate experience, I'm truly happy for you. I'm truly happy for you. I used to be so jealous of people who had things better than me or experienced better things. I really used to be jealous, but it's like, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that everyone in the world is not suffering. That people have a chance at love and healthy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Healthy relationships. Okay, yes, you're in Canada. Yeah. So we are in the same time zone. I really cannot wait until I hope the United States decides to stop the whole daylight savings thing. I really want that to stop. I just want the time to not keep changing every season, every spring and every fall. They spring forward. So that means they put the time forward in the spring and then they put the time back in the fall. It's called fall back. I don't like it. And I've heard that I've heard that time, what do you call it? What do you call it again? Not time zone. I heard that daylight savings is linked to negative health things. I think one of them is like your sleep is off. I think I may have seen depression. But I'm sure there's maybe some benefit, but like it's outdated. I heard that we only did daylight savings because of like farmers. Farmers was I think farmers needed extra time in the day so they could do their farming or something like that. I can't remember. So that's what they did it. But that was many years ago, and it's not even that many farms now. Like, shout out to all the farmers. Like, I don't know how people are staying in business as like a family local farmer. I'm interested in more farming. I don't have the opportunity to farm right now, but I appreciate and I admire the farmers. You know what I'm saying? Ethical farmers. But yeah. So I'm going to end the live, and I really appreciate everyone who peeped in, who listened in, who left a comment, and who And I appreciate whoever's watching the replay. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this live. And if you have a similar, or you have just a roommate experience that you want to share, good or bad, please leave it in the comments if you feel comfortable doing so. Hi, Ceylon's TV. How are you? Thanks for joining the live. Please like the live if you're okay with that. But yeah, it's a crisp night. You know, fall is basically saying I'm here, and I'm here in full effect. Fall is here. We have to be ready for fall. As long as I have lived in cold temperatures, I'm don't get used to it. And I just need to do better with that, because not preparing for things has caused me so much anxiety, and being prepared is the best thing to help with anxiety. Be prepared. So if you know you don't like fall, you don't like winter, have all the things that help you like it available. You know what I'm saying? So say you get cold easily, find a very good coat, a very good winter coat. Find a very good underclothes to wear in the wintertime. Gloves, you know what I'm saying? Maybe have a automatic starter for your car. Make sure your tires are in good condition. You know what I'm saying? For the roads. Make sure you have emergency stuff in your car. So just preparation is really helpful for anxiety. Lack of planning, doing stuff last minute, procrastinating. I've done that my whole life, and it has not benefited me. I still struggle to this day, but I'm aware of it. I'm very aware of it. It's very good to be prepared. When I'm prepared, it makes me feel so much better. I love the feeling, but I'm not consistent. I don't stick with it. So it's very important to stay consistent when it comes to planning, writing stuff down, organizing, alarms, timers. It's very important. It's a struggle of mine, but I know it's very important. So I keep trying to, to get it right and to try new things and stuff like that. As long as you don't give up, you have to give yourself credit for that. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. It's hard. You have made mistakes. You've been falling back, but you are still going. That's the key. That's the key. Keep going. Like, seriously. I used to give up. I had the give up mentality, because it's like being depressed from the childhood, trauma. It made me not care about anything. Depression in childhood was never talked about, Adults back then, you know what I'm saying, back in the 80s, 90s, it was like, what was mental health? It was all about the adults. The children didn't matter. Your opinion didn't matter in my household. And I know that some people have great experiences, but I know of many people who had traumatic childhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's just very important to heal and to be aware of your traumas. You have to talk about it. Pushing it away is not going to help you. You have to talk about it. Put some, address it. Address it. Ignoring it, trying to let it go away. If a feeling comes and it's an upsetting feeling, why is it upsetting you? Breathe. Maybe you have a valid reason why it's making you upset. Does it remind you of something? How does it make you feel? What do you think could help you feel better about it? You know what I'm saying? You got to have a plan. You have to have a plan. But don't ignore tough feelings. And if you need help, seek out a counselor or a therapist to get you through it. Your insurance company, I'm sure, has good mental health therapists that you can contact them to help you with. You can call 211 if you're in the U.S. You can even call 988 or text 988 to see if you can get some mental health services. But mental health is always important, always number one and key. A healthy mind is better than money. A healthy mind is better than money. All right, well, I'm going to end the live. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you sticking with me even in the dark. Good night.